Hello again. We're going to do some table joins today. Lots of fun with that stuff. You can see I've already got my data here downloaded, so we're just going to extract that when my computer decides it wants to cooperate. We'll just put it in that folder. There we go. Okay. And so today's scenario says that we are census workers working on a GIS task. And what we're going to do is we're going to join demographic data with GIS data, with census block boundary GIS data. Pretty fun stuff. It can be a little bit complicated. You really have to pay attention to what you're doing, but when you do it, it's a really powerful tool that can expand your GIS capabilities. Okay, so to start off with, we're just going to create a new blank map. So we'll click that, new blank map. No, I don't want to save untitled. And then we're going to add demographics dot shape and take a look at the attribute table. So we'll go ahead and add that data. My computer seems to be running slow today. There it is. Okay, so let's find that data. It should be lab 6. Nope. Lab 5. Yeah, so the data is going to be in lab 6. We're going to go to data. We've got it unzipped here, so we'll go ahead and go into that. And we'll add demographics.shape. And that will eventually pull up groups of city blocks. There we go. This is used to summarize census data. And we are going to take a look at the attribute tables. So it's always a good idea to do that whenever you pull up a shapefile, just to see what's in there. Okay, so we've got a few different fields here. Got one called block group underscore and one called block group. You should probably pay attention to that stuff. These are the three really that you should have to look at. These three over here kind of come standard with some shapefiles. Anyway, so we've looked at that, so we'll go ahead and close this. And we're going to add the file called more underscore data.dbf. And dbf is just it's a database file, dbf. It's just a regular type of Excel spreadsheet. You can open them up in Microsoft Access. It's just a database file, right? So we're going to add that, but there's no shapes associated with it. So what's going to happen is we're going to hit add, and nothing happened in our screen here. But if you noticed, this switched over here, and what you'll see is this is called list by source, and it lists it. You know, this is where you have it stored, so it shows you the files that you have here. The only two you should really be worried about, you know, these display methods up here. You should really only have to worry about list by source, and then this one, list by drawing order. I usually work in list by drawing order, and 99% of the time that's what you should probably be working in too. So that's something you kind of want to pay attention to, is whether or not you're working, which one of these you're working in. Anyway, we saw that it didn't add anything to the map, but we can still take a look at it here. Open. We right click and open. We see that it has fields too, right? And that's really what a shapefile is it comes along with the shape, and then it's got a database file attached to it. Okay, so what we can notice here is that we look at our fields here and we see that this also has something called block group, and demographics also had a field called block group. And that's what we do for our table joins. What a table join is we join this field with this field. You know, they have similar names. And so we join those together. We join those two things together and then save out a new file. And it probably sounds a little bit complicated right now. It'll make sense in a little bit. Okay, so we've taken a look at the attribute data for these. So let's just close all this. We're going to start doing our table join here. We're going to move. Well, actually, we're going to we'll right click on this. We'll go to joins and relates, and we'll go to join. We're going to join two tables, two databases together. Here's your new menu right here. So what you want to do is you want to make sure that we're joining the same attribute, or I'm sorry, the same field, right? We're joining the field from this layer here. We're joining the layer from this field, or I'm sorry, we're joining the field from this layer here, right? And we're gonna combine those two things together, right? So we're going to choose a field in this layer that the join will be based on. That's the field in this layer here, right? We just right clicked on it, pulled that up. So remember we said it was block group, or BLK-GRP. So it's not going to be this one with the underscore. Don't pick this. We're going to pick this one, right? And then the second one asks, choose a table to join to this layer. Which table do you want to join it to? Well, we've got this table open right here, right? We looked at that and we saw that it had block group. And Esri is pretty good at determining which field it'll join to. But in case it's not, you'll just want to go search for that field. It's going to be block group. We do want to keep all records. And what I'll usually do from here is I'll hit validate join just to make sure that some records are matched. We'll hit no here. So we get 167 of 167 records matched. Okay, so what that means is that the records from here, from this table here, and the records from this table here are all matched. And this will make sense in just a second. So we see that, you know, all of our records were matched, so we're going to go ahead and hit close, and we'll hit OK. I'll hit no here. And it looked like something happened, but we didn't really see anything. But so what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch back over to list by drawing order. It's just easier for me to work from that. We'll right click on this now, and we'll look at the attribute table. And we see that attribute table has grown, right? Before we only had like shape, area, perimeter, and these three. And now we have everything from that table is now within that within your attribute table. So, and let me back up a second. Everything from that was in this table, this database file right here, has now been put into demographics, right? And so that's what we see right here. We see it added to the end of it here. And so that's what makes it so powerful, is that you can take related data and add to it. You know, so that's how we get. You know, you can stick new attributes within a shapefile. You can build your own attributes. You know, add those attributes to your shapefile. Now what you need to do from here is you need to save the new file, because what happens is this is only a temporary join. If I were to, you know, close ArcMap and then reopen everything, this would not be that would not be saved. So what we're going to do is we're going to export it to a new data file. So we'll right click, hit data, export data, put my microphone down. We are going to save it in a good file instead of my other work here. This was lab 6. I'm going to put it in here. I'm going to create a folder called results. And I didn't save it there. Here we go. Okay, so it's results, and we'll call this I guess demographics joined. So yeah, that should be, everything should be good there. So we'll hit save. It'll export it out. Yes, we always want to add that to the new layer. So now we have two files here. We've got this, your original demographics, and you've got demographics join. This is the one we want to work with now. And you can actually go ahead and remove this if you like. Okay, so from here, we're gonna figure out how to select some records based on the joined tables. So I'm going to start working from this file here, demographics join. We're going to check out the attribute table. We're going to do a select by attributes here to select some shapefiles that have certain attributes. So we can click on this right here. We'll go to select by attributes when it comes up. We'll go to select by attributes when it comes there. Okay, so we'll select by attributes, and this is kind of throwing you in, pretty deep, pretty quick here. But what we'll do is we're going to create an equation. I'm going to double click on this, and we're going to double click on that. We'll hit this, and we'll do 0 here. And what this is going to do, and this is a little bit different than probably what's written in your instruction. That's because I've saved my new data to a new file. As a matter of fact, we can go back to here and work with it like that. Open attribute table. We'll do select by attributes. Here we go. This is more in line of your instruction. We'll scroll down to this. We'll double click this, and we'll hit 0. So this is going to choose, or it's going to select records within this HH, household percent growth, I guess is what it stands for. Those which are greater than 0. That'll show positive population growth, right? And then we'll hit apply, and then it'll show you all the records that are selected here, and it'll even show you down here, how many of those records are selected. The number of records that are selected are the number of block groups with positive population growth. So that's how that happens. And then there's a question you'll have to answer in your instruction. Should be pretty easy. So I went ahead and cleared selected features there. We're going to reapply that select by attributes again, and we're going to this time we're going to create a different one. We're going to see something that shows population growth greater than 0 and income less than $30,000. It's another pretty simple equation. You just double click your percent population, percent growth here, greater than 0, and we'll click the and it'll populate that for us automatically. And then we'll scroll up to, where is it? Right here. We'll click household income average less than $30,000, or 30,000. And that's going to select only records where the population growth is greater than 0 and household income average is less than 30,000. So we'll hit apply. That selects some records here. Pretty easy stuff. I'm going to go ahead and hit close. So you'll have to answer a question in the instruction about that. Not a big deal. The next part of the instruction says permanently save a join layer and table. I've already done that. I think it has you save it as table join.shape. We can do that again if you want. I'll go ahead and hit remove here. We will go to data, export data. I'm going to save this, make sure and save it in my results folder. We'll call this table join.shp. And hit save. And hit save again. It'll add it to my deal here. There we go. We have table join right here. It's added to my map. Now we're going to play around with the field calculator. Lots of fun. So our next step, we're going to calculate the per capita income. And per capita income is average household by the number of households and then divided by the total population. This is all written out in your instruction, so you can follow along with that. What we're going to do in the instruction, it says you're going to open the attribute table for table joins. So let's go ahead and do that. Open attribute table. Okay, we're going to go into add field. So we need to go into our options and we'll hit add field here. We're going to call this TOT underscore income. Make sure that you can really save this as, create this as however you want. However, shapefiles have a limitation of 10 characters per field. So it's just best to follow the instructions and call it what I have written here. We're going to change the type here to float, which is just a type of it's a type of number. Don't worry too much about it. Precision is going to be it says 12, and then scale is going to be 2. Don't worry too much about what that means. Not that big of a deal right now. So we'll hit OK. And we'll see that that field got added right here to it on the end, right? And now we're going to populate, these records here based on attributes from one of these records over here. So we're going to hit the right click right there. We'll go to field calculator, and we're going to calculate the total income. So we'll hit yes right here. So we're going to calculate the total income. Pretty easy stuff. These are all fields, which are within table join.shape. So instead of typing things here, I usually go ahead and click on things right here because it lowers the chances of you making a typo. If you just click on these things, it may be easier if you type it, or faster if you type it, but the chance of you making a typo is greater rather than clicking on this stuff. So it's always best just to click on these things. So we'll go ahead and double click that. We'll hit this operator here, multiply, and then we'll go in and do this, and we'll hit OK. It's going to calculate for us right there, and it should populate it. There we go. This is our total income. The instruction asks you, are the values equal to the number of households? Are the values equal to the number of households times the average income? And you can kind of, take a look at it. And we said it was HH90 times this number times this number. Looks pretty good to me. You can go in and multiply them out if you want. Okay, and there's another question here that asks you for a quiz question. It says, how many block groups have total income less than 5 million. There's various ways to be able to find this. You could sort by ascending here and then count them. But it would probably be best if you were to go into select by attributes, create an equation, and figure that out. It'd be a lot easier to do it that way. But anyway, you'll answer quiz question 3, write down your answer, and then move on. And we're starting to get pretty close to the end here. Okay, so the next one says right click. Yeah, it says right click on the column heading for the field per cap in. That is not here, and I think that may have been left out of the instructions. So we're going to create that on our own. So let's go in, add a field, exactly how we created our last field. Call this per cap in. We'll call that a float. Precision, I believe, was 12. The scale should be 2. We'll hit OK. And now we have per cap in. We're going to go into the field calculator, so we'll right click, field calculator. We'll hit yes here. And we'll clear this out. And we're going to calculate per capita income. Per capita income is total income divided by population. So to be able to do that, all you have to do is, we'll double click this. We said it was divided by the population, which is population base. We'll double click that. Everything looks good. We'll hit OK. That should calculate there. It did. So here's your per capita income. Pretty easy stuff. Your next quiz question asks you how many block groups have per capita income greater than 20,000. Same deal as the last time. You could sort these by ascending or descending and count them up that way. It's probably best to be able to do it through select by attributes and create an equation that selects those incomes greater than 20,000. It's probably easier that way, and it's good practice, so that's probably what you should do. Okay, so the last bit says we're going to create a map output. This is basically, we're going to create using Symbology in the layout window. We're going to create us a map. So it's basically just using stuff we learned in previous labs. We can go in and go into the Symbology. If you double click that, it'll pull up properties, and you just go into Symbology. Eventually it will come up on my end, Symbology tab here, and then we're just going to we'll find us let's go into graduated colors here, yeah, and we'll find us a color ramp that looks okay. If you want names to go along with this, well, hold on. If I can, we can do graphic view, or you can also do, you can right click on that and see them listed by name. For some folks that helps. Doesn't really matter that much. I prefer the colors here. So we'll pick this one, I guess. Per cap income. What we need here. We're going to classify it by 7 classes. Got 7 classes here. Natural breaks. You can hit apply to see how that looks. That's pretty crazy. I really don't like these types of symbolization, but I don't think that's anything that we're going to get into here. So we'll go ahead and hit OK. And then all you got to do from here is you go into your layout view. I'm not going to do the whole thing here, but we'll stretch this out to fill the map. Stretch our square to fill the map. And then from here we just hit zoom to layer, and that actually fills out the the map some. And I mean, for me, this is actually pretty large. I would probably pull this down about to here. We'll go back to zoom to layer. Yeah, that looks a little better. And so now I've got room for a a title up at the top. I guess you could put a legend down here. Use a north arrow. All the the scale bar, title, legend, authorship statement. All those things that are standard elements for any map. By this time, you should know that stuff. And then just export it out as a JPEG file, and you're done. And so that's table joins in less than 30 minutes. So in any case, get a hold of one of us if you guys have any questions, and be happy to help you out.